So ZH2, lots of things I like, couple of things I'm not too keen on, and one of them is this. It's this plastic plate holder that just sticks out the back of the bike, and just don't like the look of it. So I didn't want to put my plate underneath the seat, basically facing down, because it's just not legal. So I did some research, looked up tail tidies for the ZH2 and ended up finding the Evotech. So I'm going to do a short video. I'm going to get rid of this and I'm going to get the Evotech tail tidy put on. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward at the start. Take the back seat off, take the front seat off, and we're going to take the plastics off. Okay, and just remember these are metric. Okay, so there's the first side panels off. There's just six bolts to remove, and there's a plastic clip which if you just push the tip with a screwdriver, it will push in and then you can pull the side panels off. So that's both the side panels off. Okay, so next I'm going to remove the big piece of black grey plastic, and there's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hex heads to remove that as well. Okay, so there we have that rear plastic piece off, and just be careful when you take the 4 silver hex heads out. There is basically a top hat washer on each one, and also the 2 larger hex heads have just a flat washer underneath them. Okay, so next we have 4 hex heads in here, silver, and there's a single cross head as well, so we'll get those removed. Okay, so we've removed the 4 hex heads, we've removed the cross head, and you can see, well, you may not be able to see, but the actual tail tidy now is actually off. It's just held on now by the wiring. Okay, so we're at that stage now where the plastics are loose and we need to get rid of the wiring. So if you look under this side panel here, you'll actually find a rubber cover, and inside this cover you'll find the connectors for the turn signals and the number plate light. The one we don't need to disconnect is the rear brake light, the rear running light. So there's actually 3 cables, and basically what we don't want to do is we don't want to disconnect the connector with the red, blue, and it's a black and yellow. So that one we can leave. We just need to take the other ones out, just take them apart. It's just basically a screwdriver to get them apart, and that's actually do it with my fingers. So there we go, just got those connectors apart. The white one came apart just with my fingertips, but I just used a flat blade screwdriver to get the other 2 out. The other 2 are just the green, and it's a black and yellow connector. So that's those 3 off, and that's all we need to disconnect. Okay, so there we have the original off. So there was just those 3 cables, and what we're going to do now is basically dismantle this because we want the turn signals out of here. Okay, so we've got the turn signals out and we're just ready to go back together now. Okay, now we've got more of the fun stuff. So we're starting to put this back together now. So we've got the number plate light, and that's got 2 M4 nuts holding it on. and they're the two silver ones in the kit. And then we're just reattaching the turn signals. They go on exactly the same as they came off. So I'll just basically, it's just a one crosshead holding it in. So I've pushed this in, I've pushed the metal plate back in, and I'm just going to put the cover now back on with the crosshead. Okay, so we've got the next bit done. We've got our cable ties on there. This piece here has got a channel in it, and it's got two channels on the bottom where these cables go into. So you just make sure your cables are in the channel, and then you can put the 3 bolts in there. Okay, so we've got our next piece on there. It's just a plate with a square hole, and you feed the cables through, and then there's just 2 M4s at the back to secure it. Yeah, pretty straightforward so far. Okay, so next we got the final plate on. That's just got a square cutout, so you feed your cables through, and it's just 4 bolts on the back of it. So the next step now is to put this up to the bike and thread the cables back through. Okay, so there it is on the bike. It reuses 2 of the original hex heads, and then there's 2 bolts and 2 nuts that came in the kit. So just be careful when you bolt it up, because the wires have to go into a channel, and the channel then feeds the wiring up through the original gap in the bodywork. So once you've got that through, you can basically reconnect your wiring, and then I will test it first, and then you're just putting back all your bodywork. Okay, so there it's all fitted. The job itself would probably have only taken less than an hour to do. Nothing really difficult in there. I think the hardest part was actually just feeding the cables through and getting all those connected. But the quality of the parts are really good. Instructions that came with it, well, I had to download the instructions from the Evotech site. They weren't fantastic, but you could still follow them. But overall, I'm pleased with how it looks. I think it looks way better than the original. So yeah, I'm happy. So any comments, any questions about any of the things I did on there, just leave them down below. And if you want to catch any more videos, just hit that subscribe button. Thanks now.